Our top story this morning, a domestic dispute turned into a shooting at a Chicago hospital yesterday afternoon. 3 people were killed. The gunman is also dead. CBS's Laura Podesta has the details.
Outside of Mercy Hospital, shots fired in front of Mercy Hospital.
A gunman opened fire at Chicago's Mercy Hospital yesterday afternoon, killing 2 employees and a police officer.
It was like pow, 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 pow. It was extreme and it was very loud and it was close.
Police say the shooter and his ex-fiancée, Dr. Tamara O'Neill, were arguing in the parking lot when he shot and killed her. When officers arrived, he ran into the hospital where they exchanged gunfire.
When they pulled up, they heard the gunshots, and they did what the heroic officers always do. They ran towards that gunfire.
Officer Samuel Jimenez, a 28-year-old father of 3, was fatally struck. An ambulance carried his body in a procession through the streets of Chicago as police cars flashed their lights.
This tears at the soul of our city. It is the face and the consequence of evil.
Dr. Patrick Connor worked with O'Neill, a 38-year-old emergency room physician.
Simply one of the most fascinating, hard-working persons, the best person ever, really.
Also killed was 25-year-old Dana Less, a first-year pharmaceutical resident. Hospital officials say a recent active shooter drill helped save lives. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
And police have not yet released the name of the gunman. Also in this morning's headlines, a federal judge in San Francisco last night barred the Trump administration from refusing asylum to immigrants who crossed the U.S.-Mexico border illegally. The president had issued a proclamation November 9th that said anyone who crossed would be ineligible for asylum. Groups like the ACLU and the Center for Constitutional Rights were fighting it. From North Dakota, September was a record-setting month in the Bakken oil fields. The monthly report from North Dakota's Mineral Resources Department shows September oil production set a new North Dakota record at 1,359,000 barrels a day. Gas production also set a new all-time high at 2,532,000 MCF. The number of producing wells, 15,287, also a new North Dakota record. But not all the news from the Bakken is positive. Most notably, the price of Bakken sweet crude, which was selling at $42 a barrel on Monday. Compare that to yesterday's West Texas Intermediate price, which finished the day at $57.29 a barrel. As of last Friday, 62 oil rigs were operating in the Bakken. The all-time high was 218 rigs back in July of 2008. Closer to home, more than 2,000 landowners with fractional interest on the Northern Cheyenne Reservation were offered buyback offers from the U.S. Interior Department. The offers add up to $24 million. It's part of the land consolidation component of the Cobell settlement with the U.S. government. Under that program, land bought and consolidated will be restored to tribal trust ownership. The Cobell settlement provided nearly $2 billion to consolidate fractional interest on a number of reservations within a 10-year period. That 10-year period expires in 2022. The Interior Department says since its inception in 2013, the buyback program has helped consolidate more than 790,000 fractional interest and restored more than 2.2 million acres to tribal trusts. In other news, Governor Steve Bullock and the Montana Healthcare Foundation have announced more than $5 million in federal and private funding to improve care for pregnant and postpartum women. The 5-year Perinatal Behavioral Health Initiative will offer grant opportunities to healthcare providers to help them address behavioral health challenges such as mental health disorders and substance abuse. The goal is to have behavioral health services be accessible to every woman in the state. Dr. Aaron Wernham of the Montana Healthcare Foundation says there's a growing need for perinatal support in Montana.
Get treatment right there at the prenatal visit, so you don't have to make an appointment and go to a treatment center across the state or even across town. You can really get services hand in hand with your prenatal visits.
Family practitioners, obstetricians, midwives, and rural hospitals are all encouraged to apply. The deadline for applications is January 31st of 2019. From the MSU campus, the university has developed a new strategic plan for the next 6 years. MTN's Emma Hamilton has the details.
It's been a year-long process, and the university is confident in the plan it has going forward, lasting until 2024.
Students, faculty, and staff involved from the very beginning. Many hours of meeting, many big sticky notes on the wall, and many ideas bounced around from all comers. And we were very happy to come up with this strategic plan out of that very collaborative process.
MSU plans to make use of the resources they already have on campus, along with increasing partnerships with Native American communities around the state. A large part of this new strategic plan is Montana State University plans to make education more accessible to students of various backgrounds, as well as make it more affordable.
I'll put it this way, no plan can include everything. And just because it's not in this plan doesn't mean MSU is not doing that. But these are our areas of intentional focus. You know, increasing our research, making sure that we're keeping up in our creative and educational aspects, and of course improving our outreach. And these are really core tenets of the land-grant mission, and this plan reflects those.
The university will also continue to focus on increasing their retention and the number of graduate students.
Everyone at MSU, day to day, day in, day out, is invested in the future of this university and what we do here, and that is it's a really positive thing.
In Bozeman, Emma Hamilton, MTN News.
Meanwhile, in Great Falls, a man is trying to return a piece of history to its rightful place after it was found in the trash. Some 2 weeks ago, a man selling scrap at Pacific Recycling told employees he had found a Purple Heart in a Great Falls dumpster. The Purple Heart is awarded to servicemen and women who are wounded or killed in the line of duty. When Pacific Recycling manager Aaron Hartnell learned the man planned to pawn the medal, he offered to buy it and began searching for its rightful owner. But the Purple Heart awarded to a Robert M. Johnson has not yet been claimed. Hartnell has reached out to Purple Hearts Reunited, a nonprofit dedicated to returning lost or stolen medals. He's also posted to social media and reached out to Malmstrom Air Force Base for help.
It's hard to say exactly what happened. I have a hard time believing that someone would throw this away intentionally. It's pretty special. I just really want to find out who owns it or the next of kin. I don't deserve to have it, we know that. I want to make sure that it gets back to who it's supposed to belong to.
Anyone with information about the medal's recipient or next of kin can contact Hartnell at Pacific Steel and Recycling in Great Falls. In health news, the #1 cause of death in young athletes is cardiac arrests. So Rocky Mountain College, MSUB, and St. Vincent Healthcare are teaming up to try to prevent any of their students from becoming a statistic. They celebrated the partnership at half court before last night's crosstown basketball game. St. Vincent Healthcare has donated 2 automated external defibrillators to each school. Rocky student Colton Winkus has witnessed some health scares on campus and realizes that seconds can be the difference between life and death. Once he saw the need for AEDs on campus, he approached the Heart and Vascular Department at St. Vincent Healthcare. The hospital quickly answered the call, stepping up to provide the equipment.
People think that this only happens to older people, and really it's across all ages. It's anywhere from 12 years old up to 90 that people can go into this lethal cardiac rhythm, and the only way to get them out of it is to shock them.
The new AEDs will be placed in the main athletic facilities on both campuses. Elsewhere, it's a chore most of us honestly don't look forward to, but some folks in Billings are just happy to have the chance to do their laundry. As Q2's Russ Riesinger reports, they're getting some help with the task thanks to the Junior League of Billings.
It's something you don't really think about, but it really is a need out there. It's open to anybody. We bring in the quarters, we bring in detergent and dryer sheets, and whoever needs help, we are here to serve.
Once a month, you can find some of the ladies from the Junior League of Billings plugging quarters into washers and dryers for people who might otherwise not be able to afford to do so.
And after some research and talking with local organizations, it was determined that clean clothes was a low priority for a lot of people when it came time to pay other bills or put food on their table. So
I usually go to my mom, but it makes her power bill go through the roof.
Donna Anderson is grateful for the help. She says the cost of doing her family's laundry can really pile up.
It gets really expensive with 3 teenage children, and I have 1 teenage daughter. She changes her clothes like 4 or 5 times a day, so it takes a lot out of you. And I'm a single parent, so.
So if some of these people are saving $40 to $50 today on their wash, especially when you have a larger family with lots and lots of clothes, and it just can really add up.
And that makes laundry day a lot easier to deal with.
They've been able to, use the money that they save not paying for laundry by paying for like groceries or their power bill or something like that. So it's been a wonderful reaction.
In Billings, Russ Riesinger, MTN News.
And Russ tells us the Junior League of Billings holds the event at a different laundromat each month. They will be posting the next one on their Facebook page. You can also contact them there if you would like to get involved in helping out or supporting the organization. Before we take a break, a new sport that's made its way from Europe to the U.S. might make you a little nostalgic. Equestrians leap over jumps, trot through courses, and take part in dressage competitions, but they're not riding a real horse. CBS's Laura Podesta gave hobby horsing a try in Augusta, New Jersey.
She's speedy.
This new sport is turning traditional horse riding on its head and horn.
Second jump.
Watch as 13-year-old Kaya Ortega leaps, trots, and runs through a course, all while riding a horse on a stick.
You kind of look stupid doing it, so it's kind of just laughing at yourself.
But it's no joke. Hobby horsing first took off in Finland, where over 10,000 young people participate for prizes. Here in the U.S., hundreds compete throughout the year at North Carolina's Tryon International Equestrian Center.
Woohoo! Great job!
And in New Jersey, money from this smaller event will go to a local horse rescue charity. Riders are judged on their speed, style, and the appearance of their horse. Organizer Marian Georgiev told us the best riders use their body to mimic the real animal. They must keep the stick between their legs at all times.
You can't be embarrassed. To enjoy it, you have to just not worry about how you look, I think.
And most of these participants are real equestrians. They tell us hobby horsing helps them improve their skills back at the barn.
Does it make you realize, wow, the horse is actually doing a lot of work?
Yeah, definitely.
And this is tiring me out.
Yeah.
Kaya says her spirit of competition is growing, not only to win competitions with her real horse, but her hobby horse too. Laura Podesta, CBS News, Augusta, New Jersey.
Hobby horse competitions are similar to horse shows with different fence heights for jumpers and varying test levels for dressage riders.